So, dear Government Councillor and Minister, Mr. Pierre-Henri Chiappori, dear National Councillor and Monaco Economic Board CEO, Mr. Guillaume, dear officials and distinguished speakers, dear friends watching online from all around the world, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from the offices of MonacoTech in the heart of Monaco. My name is Kevin Hin. I'm the chairman of the World Business Angels Investment Forum in Monaco and former Secretary General of JCI, the Junior Chambre International, the foremost global network of young leaders. I am proud to be hosting this event as part of the 2025 World Business Angels Week celebration that is taking place in 40 countries around the world and bringing together a global audience of 50,000 viewers. The theme of this week is Entrepreneurship Without Borders, advancing partnerships for a sustainable future. And we very much took this theme to heart when designing this session. Our intention is to showcase the Monegasque economy to the global audience watching here today, beyond any pre-established ideas, and to highlight the reality of Monaco. That of a strong, resilient and buoyant economy that is open to the world and that embraces the entrepreneurial spirit. As a long-time resident, having been educated here since the age of 10, I am proud to see how Monaco embraces innovation and keeps moving forward as a small but brightly shining star on an increasingly volatile global stage. It is this spirit of entrepreneurship without borders that our speakers will highlight today. The second part of this week's theme relates to partnerships. Indeed, this event is the fruit of the intense work undertaken over the last 3 months by the World Business Angels Investment Forum in partnership with MonacoTech, the Monaco Economic Board and JCI Monaco, whose representatives are all here and who will be speaking during this session. The input of the whole team on suggesting relevant topics and support provided by our hosts at MonacoTech have been instrumental in bringing this event together. Over the next 2 hours, we will examine the topic through different angles. We will first get an overview of the Monegasque economy's entrepreneurship initiatives through its government and its institutions. Following that, we will funnel down with 2 panel sessions and hear from the entrepreneurs themselves and see how they are supported on a daily basis, not just to start up, but to succeed and to thrive. I hope that you will enjoy this session and that those of you watching here or online and who are learning about the reality of Monaco for the first time will be encouraged to visit and to invest here. Thank you very much. Sorry. Now, first of all, I would like to open with a video message from Mr. Baidos Altuntaş, the Executive Chairman of the World Business Angels Investment Forum, an affiliated partner of the G20's Global Partnership for Financial Inclusion and the initiator of this week. Mr. Altuntaş is a former Dragon's Den star in Turkey and a celebrated entrepreneur, and has served as a senior advisor to the London Stock Exchange's Elite programme. He is also a council member of the Inclusive Capitalism Initiative, successful author, and a multi-award-winning advocate for global entrepreneurship. Please, may we have a video on screen.
Dear presidents, prime ministers, country chairs and co-chairs, and dear participants. In an increasingly interconnected world, entrepreneurship has transcended national boundaries to become a global force for innovation, job creation, and sustainable development. The theme of this year's World Business Angel Investors Week, Entrepreneurship Without Borders, Advancing Partnerships for a Sustainable Future, reflects our belief that cross-border collaboration, shared knowledge, and global partnerships are essential to unlocking the full potential of the startup economy. World Business Angel Investors Week 2025 globally coordinated by the World Business Angels Investment Forum, WBAF, an affiliated partner of the G20 Global Partnership for Financial Inclusion, offers a unique platform to connect entrepreneurs, investors, policymakers, and thought leaders across borders and industries. It is a week dedicated to exploring how smart finance and inclusive partnerships can power sustainable growth in both developed and developing economies. The remarkable success of the World Business Angel Investors Week 2024 has inspired us all. Celebrated in 138 countries across 5 continents and 2 regions, the week united over 200,000 participants globally. With around 300 keynote speakers, 740 distinguished panelists, and the addresses of 4 presidents, 2 prime ministers, and 32 ministers, it became one of the most influential gatherings of the global startup ecosystem. I extend my gratitude to every stakeholder who contributed to these outstanding achievements. Entrepreneurship is no longer confined by geography. In today's digital age, a startup in one corner of the globe can scale internationally with the right support, funding, and guidance. However, to achieve this, we must eliminate the barriers that hinder cross-border entrepreneurship. That means ensuring equitable access to finance, fostering regulatory cooperation, and promoting inclusive policies that support entrepreneurs regardless of their location, gender, and background. World Business Angel Investors Week 2025 aims to advance global partnerships that can catalyze innovation and sustainable growth. Through roundtables, workshops, and networking forums, stakeholders will explore how early-stage equity markets can drive green innovation, social impact, and economic empowerment. The WBAF believes that sustainable economic development requires not just capital, but smart capital, investment that brings with it mentorship, networks, and strategic partnerships. By fostering entrepreneurship without borders, we are taking a stand for a world where every entrepreneur, regardless of nationality, has the opportunity to thrive and contribute to a better future. Throughout this special week, we invite angel investors, venture capitalists, policymakers, educators, and entrepreneurs to reflect on the role they can play in building a sustainable, inclusive, and globally integrated startup ecosystem. Let's harness our collective wisdom and resources to empower entrepreneurs as agents of positive change in the global economy. As we move forward, I'm confident that collaboration across borders, sectors, and cultures will unlock new opportunities for entrepreneurs and investors alike. Together, we can shape a sustainable future powered by innovation, driven by partnerships, and anchored in entrepreneurship without borders. I extend my sincere thanks to the organizing committee, our country chairs and co-chairs, global partners, and all speakers and participants for their invaluable contributions. Your efforts not only enrich this week, but help forge a brighter future for generations to come. Let's hug this journey together, united in purpose, global in outlook, and bold in vision. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And yes, I hope this gives you a bit of context into the organisation which is organising this event. Now, I'd like to move on to the first of our speakers. We're honoured to have, as our next keynote speaker, Monaco's Minister of Finance and the Economy, Mr. Pierre-Henri Chiappori. Mr. Chiappori notably held the chair of Professor of Economics at Columbia University and is renowned for his work in household behaviour and general equilibrium, which, as a former economics graduate myself, I know that those are not the easiest topics. In March 2024, he was appointed as Monaco's Minister Councillor of Finance and the Economy, and he will be speaking about the role of Monaco's government in promoting entrepreneurship without borders. Minister, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. On behalf of the Monaco government, it's my privilege to welcome and to extend a very warm welcome to the World Business Angel Investment Forum here in Monaco. And let me say that this is the kind of event that we in Monaco are more than happy to welcome and to favor. So thank you for choosing Monaco. In what you said at the beginning of your talk, there are some words that I find are absolutely crucial. One was entrepreneurial spirit. And that's exactly what we in Monaco believe in. Wealth is created by entrepreneurs. And if entrepreneurs are welcome in a given place, that's the key, a crucial key for success in that particular place. And the second thing that sounded quite lovely to my ear is the notion of entrepreneurship without borders. Now, about 250 years ago, a Scottish economist, Adam Smith, wrote what probably remains the most important book ever written in economics, The Wealth of Nations. And the point, one of the points that he was making here, is that trade, movement across borders is exactly one of the most important sources of wealth. Exchanges, creativity. Borders are necessary, but they should not stop us, hinder the development of cooperation, of mutual exchanges, and of mutually profitable kind of exchanges. Now, what about Monaco? First of all, this that you realize. It has lots of downsides, there are some upsides. I mean, coming from my office to this place took me exactly 5 minutes. I'm not sure there are many big cities in the world in which, wherever you're going, this could be done. But this kind of the short distance, it's not only geographically. We have close relationship with entrepreneurs. Essentially, the channels are much easier. We are more willing to welcome, to talk to, and to support and help entrepreneurs in the most flexible, in the most agile way. I mean, being small can be a problem in some cases, but there are lots of advantages of being able to decide quickly, react quickly, and find a solution in a sort of flexible way. We are one of the most educated places in the world, and you know, as Mr. President said, I'm a former economist, and so I know the importance of human capital. Our youth is extremely educated, extremely eager. And let me just to conclude, tell you what my dream of Monaco would be. I would love Monaco to be a place in which any person that could create wealth, but I mean wealth in a very general way, not only financial wealth, it could be scientific wealth, it could be artistic wealth, any creator, any innovator, any person that's able to make the world a better place. I would love any such person to feel welcome in Monaco and to consider Monaco as one of the places where he or she could come and flourish. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, dear Mr. Chiappori, for your presence here today and for that great inspiring speech. Now, I'd like to take a deeper dive to hear the actions of our partners who are working with us today. And our next speaker is Mr. Jeune, the Chief Executive Officer of the Monaco Economic Board. Mr. Roz assumed his functions in March 2019, coordinating public and private efforts to boost Monaco's global economic influence. Previously, he led the Monaco Tourism Board, starting in 2011, and since 2018, has also served in Monaco's National Council, chairing the Environment and Quality of Life Commission, and represents Monaco in the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe. Mr. Roz, please join us on stage.
Thank you very much. As our Minister of Finance, André Capori, said, Monaco is serene. He showed a lot of serenity. And this serenity, seemingly surprising at first, won't astonish the keen connoisseur of the Principality. Monaco, given its small size, faces challenges regarding its expected role in international institutions, and we are actively addressing this. However, due to its unique geographical and human characteristics, Monaco enjoys a level of stability that is truly unmatched in the world, along with the ability to adapt seamlessly to the international landscape, ensuring its ongoing prosperity. This sense of calm embodies Monaco's greatest luxury and serves as a compelling attraction for foreign businesses and investors, more now than ever. The Monaco Economic Board, which I am privileged to lead, functions within this framework as the executive branch of the provincial government focused on advancing Monaco's economic growth. The MEB, that's what we call the Monaco Economic Board, the MEB serves as both the Chambre of Commerce and the agency promoting Monegasque interest to foreign countries and investors, of course. Approximately 640 Monegasque companies have opted to join the MEB, including nearly all the prominent large enterprises that play a crucial role in Monaco's prosperity. Every day we strive to facilitate meetings among business professionals where they can enrich one another and seize opportunities both locally and internationally. This is achieved through various business events, networking cocktails, conferences, economic missions, and welcoming delegations. Our efforts are supported by institutions and private stakeholders, from Monaco, of course. We conduct at least 50 operations annually and receive high praise from our members and partners. Although we are seldom directly involved in signing contracts, we often initiate connections that may come to fruition months or even years later. But we are very patient at the Monaco Economic Board. We also engage with the government's attractiveness unit, which organizes targeted events to draw new economic players, talents, and residents to Monaco. Our extensive network enables us to integrate new entities into the Monegasque economy while creating opportunities for those already established there. Our current territory and the resulting relationships facilitate international operations that unite various public and private entities, all contributing to Monaco's influence across economic, cultural, scientific, and sporting domains. Monaco takes pride in its identity and traditions, presenting itself as a globally engaged, highly dynamic, and approachable economic center. It offers a high quality of life and a favorable business environment within the Principality. This is a message we promote worldwide. Monaco is not only the Grand Prix, Monaco is not only the casino, Monaco is not only tourism, but Monaco is business. Monaco means business, especially by being located in the heart of Southern Europe. As I said, our characteristics position us as an open-air laboratory for individuals seeking to innovate in the realms of digital technology, energy transition, and sustainable development. Numerous initiatives exist, and the commitment of His Highness Prince Albert II and his foundation to advancing environmental protection, particularly concerning the oceans, as a catalyst for economic growth is profoundly inspiring. The recent Blue Economy and Finance Forum held at the beginning of the month, preceding the AMOC conference in Nice, serves as a prime example of this virtuous dynamic. This dynamic should equally propel the World Business Angels Investment Forum, which contributes significantly to our country's appeal. I extend my gratitude to Kevin Hin and his teams for orchestrating this remarkable event. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rosgian. And yes, you made a very good point about Monaco, that Monaco really means business, and one of the key messages we want to pass to the global audience is look beyond the external image that some may have and look deeper into the economy, and that's what we're going to be keeping on illustrating the next 90 minutes or so of this panel. Now, before we get to our entrepreneur panels, I'd like to give the floor to our third and final keynote speaker, Hannah Derrien, who is the 2025 president of the Jeune Chambre Économique de Monaco. In English, we call it the Junior Chamber International of Monaco. Mrs. Derrien is a Monaco-based legal partner specializing in tax, wealth, and inheritance law, and a graduate of Pont-à-Moussa's University. Her expertise spans a wide range of areas, from individual and corporate taxation to estate planning, including legal issues related to wealth transfers and complex tax strategies. Since January 2025, she has been serving as national president of JCEM Monaco, where she launched a triennial entrepreneurship roadmap with many actions, which she will now relate to you. So Hannah, please take the floor.
Thank you, Kevin, for your words. Good morning, everyone. So, I made some slides because I love pictures. So, the Principality of Monaco is a dynamic player on the innovation scene. At the heart of its ecosystem, you have young entrepreneurs. Their creativity, agility, and ability to innovate are very essential pillars in supporting the diversification of Monaco economy. There is an association in Monaco of young leaders, and it's JCEM Monaco, of course. And I have the honor of serving this association as 2025 national president. Our mission is to develop the attractiveness of Monaco. We have some programs in JCEM Monaco that helps young entrepreneurs to boost the economy of Monaco. The first one is the Best Business Plan competition. You have the condition in order to apply to this competition. You have three main prizes. The government prize of 14,000 euros, comprised the JCI prize is 21,000 euros, and the third prize of 10,000 euros. We have lots of startups like Carlo, Excel Center, Soka, or High Blood, represented today by Camille Lopez, whom you'll heard from shortly. Thanks to these competitions, they emerge and they have become pillar of the local economy. We are celebrating the 30th anniversary of this competition this year, and you have the link of the website if you are interested, and you just have to fill the form. The second one is Monaco Inspire, led this year by Camille, also, because Camille Lopez is a member of JCEM Monaco. Monaco Inspire turns idea into reality. It's a new program. It's just one day in Monaco to transform your vision into action. And it's becoming one of the main events on entrepreneurship in Monaco. During one day, mentors lead a workshop and they help you move from idea to content. In Monaco Inspire, offer you the opportunity to meet exceptional speakers, to take advice, and to discover key to turning your ambition into reality. You also have more information on our website. The third one is Grand Entrepreneur, we say it in French. So we introduce young people to entrepreneurship as early as primary school through an immersive day where students from the 5th grade to university design a startup project. The goal is to learn young people to creativity, leadership, and project management. We are so lucky because we have one of our partnership today. It's Olena Prigotko. We are going next week, 2 weeks. We are going to the school of Olena, and we do this kind of day during one day. It's a special year also this year because it's the 10th anniversary of this program, and we also need mentors. So if you have time, do not hesitate. And we have another program, Startup Meeting. Startup Meeting is leading by Mathieu, who is also in the room today, and you will hear from shortly. Startup Meeting is a key event for young entrepreneurs in Monaco. It's at last night in Monaco in October. During this day, you have a live pitch in front of a jury of professionals, mentors. You can do networking with key actors of Monaco, and it's a dynamic format inspired by the Silicon Valley demo day. So, the young professionals in Monaco are so lucky because we have a close collaboration with the government, with the Monaco Economic Board, of course, with MonacoTech and other entities. And our collaborations help us and help young entrepreneurs to boost the local economy of Monaco. Thank you for your attention. Just 1 minute, we have our agenda. If you are interested at our event, you have our agenda, the QR code for our agenda. Thank you.
Thank you very much, President Hannah, for these insights, which really show concretely what is available for young entrepreneurs in Monaco. So it's not just about talking about giving opportunities to young leaders, we're actually developing enterprising young leaders for this changing world, as per the mission of JCI. And I have to say, I took part in the Grand Entrepreneur project at the FANB school last Friday, and I was really impressed about how the young people, the 12 or 13-year-old students, are really embracing the opportunity to go outside of a classroom, think outside of a box, and really develop new ideas. So, it was extremely refreshing, something which I would have benefited from very much 30 years ago when I was at school here as well. So without further ado, I would like to start to delve into the case of the entrepreneurs on the ground with 2 panel sessions. Now, the first panel, which I will have the honor of moderating, will stay on the same topic, exploring how young entrepreneurs are finding real success in Monaco, not alone, but through the power of partnerships. Education, sustainability, and digital transformation are all represented today. So let's meet the young global entrepreneurs who are building bridges, breaking ground, and making Monaco shine. So I'll call you all individually on stage, starting with Olena Prikotko, the founder director of the Bridge School of Monaco. Please take a seat. Welcome. Next, I'd like to call Camille Lopez, the founding president of Pipeline, and Mathieu Debieux, the CEO of Nivora. So, before we begin, let's get to know each other. Can you, each one of you, say a few words in a couple of in maximum a minute, just to introduce yourselves, who you are and what your company does. Let's begin with Mathieu, since you've been assigned the microphone first.
So it seems, well, thanks for organizing this event. Let's start. So my name is Mathieu. I founded Nivora. We're an engineering company in IT. We have customers and institutions modernized. We are very much KPI oriented in terms of providing value. In short, we do cloud computing, automation, and the buzzword of the moment, AI.
Hello, everyone. We are a consultancy for the maritime industry based here in Monaco since 4 years now. We're working with hydrogen, biofuels, methanol, and electricity for the shipyards and the ports as well to work on the egg and chicken problem, basically. So having the bunkering operations and as well the boat building site with generators.
Hello, everybody. My name is Elena. I co-founded the British School of Monaco 2.5 years ago. It is a family-run British curriculum school in Monaco that starts with primary level, so kids from 5 years old, and now we also have a secondary school. We're opening early years in September, and we also run something that's called individual program, where students, such as high-level athletes, they study with teachers one-to-one.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you for sharing your entrepreneurial careers. What the three of them didn't mention directly, they're also JCI Monaco members. Jeune and Camille both run successful projects this year. Elena is former president of JCI Monaco and also an international vice president of JCI globally. So very proud to have you all three here to showcase what we do at JCI as well. So let's start with questions for the panelists. I'll begin with Elena, first of all. So you founded the British School of Monaco, one of the first private schools to be founded in Monaco in the end of 2022. So how did you collaborate with the public entities to achieve this real milestone?
So we actually are the first and the only privately owned school in Monaco. We have collaborated with the government. Of course, we have submitted our project to the Ministry of Education that has taken long and good time to review the dossier, which actually is very thankful because you cannot just open a school being anybody. It's a matter of public interest. In many ways, a school is education that is offered by a school has to be vetted by the government. And I've just actually came back from Mongolia, where I was at the JCI Asia Pacific conference, and there, for example, every school must teach the national curriculum and the whatever international curriculum they're doing as well, and it's extremely monitored by the state. So we have done that in we started the process early 2022, and we actually opened in November 2022, so we didn't open for September. We were not on time for that, but mainly we have collaborated with the Ministry of Interior and the Ministry of Education, but of course other partners of ours. We have had a lot of support from JCI, with the Monaco Economic Board as well, to develop our activity, because as I said, education is a strategic element of any country. It's a matter of attractivity. Families decide to move to Monaco if they have a place for their kids in the school and if they have a place in a suitable school. So that's essentially one of the things that we also provide for the state.
Thank you. Yes, indeed. It's important to really align things in all countries. You mentioned Mongolia with government strategy, especially. In your case, it's promoting Monaco as an onshore destination, getting people together. So our next question is for Camille. You've won awards such as the JCI Monaco Best Business Plan competition, as Hannah mentioned, and secured major maritime contracts such as the ports of Monaco, San Lorenzo, and Saint-Tropez. By combining marine expertise and environmental values, now what advice would you have for young founders who are seeking pilot opportunities in blue economy innovation?
A fun fact, but I was here exactly 2 years ago for this business plan competition, and that was the last time I spoke in this group. So it's quite nice to be here today to, let's say, follow up from these points. Regarding the blue economy, it's still, we had the UNOC, the United Nations Ocean Conference, just last week in Nice and Monaco, with the Blue Economy and Finance Forum as well, for the finance side. And it's a wide area of the sustainability for the ocean and sea, where we still have a lot of implementation. So blue economy is really something where you won't find any kind of guidelines saying, well, here it's pointed that we need something, but it's much more about focusing on the environmental side and challenge, than seeking how can I have a suitable business and financing to allow this innovation or just this change, because innovation is not always the best word to make something greener. I have to say it, I'm sorry, but it's not always the best match. So at least just thinking, where can I improve something in the blue side, and then seeking for how can I match the economy word behind the word blue, then having this impact on blue economy itself. But it's very broad. So what is a bit, I would say, tricky as a young is that if you're expecting something guided, you won't find it. You need to make deeper research by yourself, and at least identifying the first area where you want to work in. And I'm seeing some faces in the room even out of the young sides, that are making some change and buying some companies to work towards those blue economy topics. At least they identify an area, and then you can start the project in it. That would be a bit the challenge for the blue economy side.
Thank you very much for this really clear answer. And I think what you're saying is really that it's not just, it's really focusing on the problem first before looking at the solution and not coming up with something already ready. And of course, topics like blue economy are relatively new still, and there's still lots of potential for the market to mature and to invent new things. So that's very interesting. Thank you for your insights, Camille. Now, my next question is for Mathieu. Monaco is embracing digital transformation in public services and business, of course, on the Monaco innovation runway right now. So this really epitomizes that. What gap did you identify that led you to launch Nivora here, and how are you filling it?
Good question. As innovative as Monaco is, when I moved back from Australia less than 10 years ago, I identified a gap here in Monaco. Mostly on cloud computing. People wanted to have the data in Monaco, and for me, what's in the wrong reason, and they were hell-bent on this, but not so much on innovation. So I thought, okay, nobody's actually doing engineering in this domain. There are players established, but nobody's actually doing only this. And that's really what started my project. And then slowly, as we worked with institutions, and there was a lot of promotion from the government as well around digital transformation, people started to get accustomed, and they are part of my identity as well. So that helped establish the fact that, we are looking for value here, not just what I call, it's not the political statement you're doing, it's actually value and getting benefits. And that's what really started. And funny enough, our first customer was actually the government themselves.
Very impressive. It's very impressive. Thank you. Especially, we're going to talk about having big customers as your first client, big companies as your first client later on as well. So that's very much aligned with what we were discussing. So let's move on back to Elena. Your school has grown its reputation very quickly in 2.5 years. What sorts of partnerships have you developed with Monaco's government or business community to give students more hands-on exposure to local innovation?
We're lucky, actually. We are pretty much full up on the primary school that opened 2 years ago. It's almost full. We continue collaborating with the government, with the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Interior. We are collaborating with JCI. Of course, as Hannah mentioned, in 2 weeks we have local entrepreneurs coming to the school to work with the kids starting from year 6. So the last year of primary school, where there will be 10 to 11 years old, and then also in the secondary school. We are also running our own entrepreneurship projects with the secondary students, where we actually have a course that runs throughout the year, where we start working on a project with them from the beginning, and then we have checkpoints with them every couple of months, and we discuss different topics and we prepare them to present their business at the end of the year. We also collaborate with various entrepreneurs in the Principality who work alongside the students to coach them or to train them, because it's really important for the kids, especially kids of, say, international families, entrepreneurial families, to be exposed to different type of innovation and different practices. So we kind of actually see ourselves as a small school, but that combines and tries to bring to Monaco the best practices. So we're starting AI coding course with them in September. We're talking to them about Web3, 3.0, about blockchain and centralization. So our kids are exposed to that, but at the same time, we're really careful about how much screen time they use. So you probably have heard we've launched a partnership with Monaco Telecom called Phoneball, where we actually give recruited Nokia 3310 to the kids so that they do not have phones unless they really need them. And obviously we have a zero phone policy in the school, so nobody can have a phone in a school, because it's really important that screen time is when they work, when they do something productive, but we try to minimize exposure to social media, for example.
Thank you for all those insights, and very relevant to have entrepreneurship training at school level as well. Again, it's something which probably didn't exist 10 or 15 years ago, and it's good to see that the notions of entrepreneurship are coming in at a younger age as we go more digital. So next question's for Camille. So you had a prominent role at the United Nations Oceans Conference last week in Nice. And during that event, HighPlug emphasized collaboration to help support greener actions within the maritime sector. What specific partnerships or initiatives were launched or reinforced during the event? So look forward to hearing all about it, how it went.
During the United Nations Ocean Conference, we had several events which were in different places. So it was the UNOC itself, then what they called the side events, for the observatory at the Innovation Hub. So, was quite, I was in the same word, but broad, being honest. So they had more than 400 events within the week, which was just huge. And then they had like thousands of people coming to visit, from like just families with kids to diplomatic persons. So same big variety. During this event, I will make a small focus on the Innovation Hub, where I was actually there. So speaking about something I know properly, we did our best to escape from all the business side of the talk, because it was the ocean conference, not the, let's say, sustainability business opportunity to rise. So we had a discussion with clusters first and not companies, to say, okay, we have some environmental rules in countries, especially in France, being honest, for anchoring, for example, and pollution related. But those kind of measures, they are stopping economy, and people are just escaping on the nearest countries, which were Italy and Spain, which is not really the solution, as the water is not locked in the French water or Spanish water. It's going anywhere as far as I understand. So the main talk was about how can we as a cluster work together to implement better environmental measures, which are indeed respected in the whole area. So that was basically the core topic. And one of the first conclusion was about what we can do right now to reduce the pollution is about just shifting the fuel, so having something less polluting in the boats for the existing fleet and from tomorrow ahead. So the clusters want to start to work together to allow, for example, owners and captains to know, well, if I'm sailing from Italy to France to Balearics and then landing up in Barcelona, for example, I know I can bunker with those biofuels in this entire area. I'm trying to be, meantime, extracting for the region, but as well serving the environmental cause, because all the Posidonia, for example, the issue we have is especially in the West Med region, and the French coast is one of the best and worst scenario for the Posidonia. So there are kind of consideration where we really need to have a high focus in the area, where if you move to like Croatia, Greece, Turkey, you have less of those considerations, just because of the nature disposal. So that was one, for example, of the big highlight points, saying, okay, it's above the companies and above the business running daily. It's just working together as clusters with interest in each country, stopping to be competitors, but then just thinking together, how can we improve the situation for the entire West Med region, which was the topic of the day, locally speaking.
Thank you so much, and yes, it seems very constructive. Can you just quickly, you mentioned when we talk about partnerships, you mentioned clusters. Can you just give a definition of what a cluster is for some of the audience?
Sure. So the cluster is a group of companies in specific regions. For example, we have Navigo from Italy. Navigo is a cluster worth 4 billion in terms of revenues by the company's members. And this cluster is holding most of the shipyards and new construction shipyards in Italy. In another side, let's say, the Balearic cluster, they are having a lot of free feed companies and marinas in the region, and they're based in Palma. Then we have the Riviera Yachting Network, which is the local Côte d'Azur. It's mixed between a lot of suppliers, because in the region we have a lot of companies which are making maintenance on the boat, and if you need to fix any tiny or bigger things, it's those small suppliers, all the leather, concern, like umbrellas, all this stuff. We have a lot in Côte d'Azur. And then the Barcelona one was just present. They have a lot of free feed shipyards again, so biggest maintenance. And when you need to basically cut a boat an extent of like 10 meters, that kind of thing they are doing mostly in the region. So yeah, the cluster is a group of companies, and Monaco, Barcelona were added in the loop because initially it was only between France, Balearic.
Perfect, thanks for the explanation. And indeed, those are useful for strong partnerships, as we were discussing. So the question for Mathieu, now you did something great, but which every business wants, every business owner dreams of. You managed to make your company profitable from year one. So well done. Now, having managed to do that, what do you believe that young tech founders most need from a local ecosystem to succeed? And what's still ahead?
It's very simple. I always say you can have the best product. If there's no client for it, there's no product. So that was the first rule when I started Nigra. It's identify your market, be 100% sure this is what needs to be done and what you want to do, because when you're going to get stuck, this is also your lighthouse. So to support maritime. But it's really and take another image using all in English. You know, in MBA, they say you miss all the shots you don't take. So give it your shot. We are very fortunate in Monaco, as we mentioned. We have the support of the MEB. We have associations like the JCEM that you mentioned. There's a government locally that is also encouraging people to start businesses. We are fortunate to also 2 incubators. We're sitting in one of them. It's really, to go back to your question, is use it, read the room, read the ecosystem, try to see how you can fit in with the value you think you can add. That's really the key. And with Nigra, I went kind of the hard way because I started with just my personal funds. I didn't go through any business plan competition or incubators. I just identified the market and I went for it. With the goal of being profitable, I would say, is just to not lose money. Before thinking of being profitable, I didn't want to be in a deficit. So I ran a very tight ship. So I was a bit frugal. But you've got to also take opportunities when they come. When I launched Nigra, I felt it was the right time. I had contacts with a lot of business people, with potential future customers, and my wife was not as pleased, but when it's the time, you do it. You go for it. That's really, and in Monaco, back to what I was saying, on top of this ecosystem, you also have companies in Monaco who want to work with other companies from Monaco. So if you really make the effort to be part of that ecosystem, you will be rewarded. Don't look for profit straight away, but look for being helpful, and it will come back. I'm a strong believer in karma as well. I think if I might help someone, I'm not expecting anything in return directly, but someone else might help me one day, and I'll be very happy about that.
Yes, thank you. So very good points there, very good advice for future entrepreneurs. Now, we've got about 5 minutes left on this panel, so if you're okay, I'll give you some 3 final questions, one each, which you can reply quickly to, and then we can move forward to the next one. So let's carry on with Mathieu. You've got the mic still. So Nivora delivers full digital transformation and cloud adoption for public and private organizations in Monaco. What key business outcomes are you enabling for these partnerships?
It's very simple. The idea of cloud computing is, and we're talking about climate before, is to use the right resource at the right time. I'm sorry to tell you this, but if you work 9 to 5, 5 days per week, it's only 30% of the hours during the week. I know it might feel like we spend more time than that at work. But why consume IT resources 70% of the time that you don't need them? And that's really the idea behind cloud computing. It's, hey, I'm doing the payroll this month. Do I need my payroll to be running all month? No, I just need a few hours a month. So fire up whatever you need to do your payroll and you stop it. And that's really the value we bring. We have customers here facing someone nearby doing ticketing. Ticketing is a business that's very grateful if you have to buy your own infrastructure, because you need to have the capacity to have many customers at one given point, but the rest of the time it's not being used. So with the elasticity of the cloud computing, we do that. We've also worked as a proof of concept with a local institution to simulate tsunamis and use AI to actually help guide people to find a refuge in terms of natural disaster. And also we use that as well to coordinate rescue services. So we know, so it's a bit dark, but if there's an issue, we know which area will be affected and which security services to when to send and where. And that's all connected for AI, which adds a lot of value to the local ecosystem and I find quite innovative.
Yeah, absolutely. Concrete applications are very important. Right. Thank you. So next question for Elena. So you work closely with both students and parents. How do you help cultivate an entrepreneurial mindset across generations?
Well, I don't think not the parents. I think, you know, they're already entrepreneurs. If I can cultivate something else, that would be great. But it's mostly the kids. The kids are really the focus. You know, I think lots of people in this room have children, and I also have a little baby. When we are older, you know, we always try to keep ourselves informed. You know, we go to conferences, we consider ourselves as lifelong learners. Well, our kids are lifelong learners. So we every single day expose them to obviously the curriculum knowledge, but we always bring into the curriculum various elements that are related to entrepreneurship, innovation. You know, Web 3.0 is a massive topic now. You know, we have invested in a project that is essentially a AI tool that allows you to create your own websites in a matter of seconds, and it's like a really new. There's a demo that's being piloted now, and we're going to deploy it in the school from September. The kids are like incredible sponges, so they learn something every single day and very fast. And you know, one of our parents who is heavily invested in IT said that kind of, well, they're going to have a job by the age of 14, so we don't have to worry about anything. And that's the thing, we have so many extremely smart and successful people who are in our school as parents. So we try to make this network work, and we try to essentially bring the knowledge of our parents and our families to our children and to share amongst them, because you know, they will be the decision makers tomorrow. They get to inherit the businesses, and our job is to ensure that they are the best that they can possibly be in terms of their education.
Super, thanks for your answer on that. And the last question is for Camille. HiPlug aims to deploy sustainable energy solutions in the yachting and maritime sectors. So what sparked this focus on the blue economy decarbonisation, and what problem are you solving?
So basically, the first point I was telling earlier is about how can we reduce the pollution, but before thinking about massive innovation. So the first step is about all the existing fleets without making first massive investments, which were very hard to recover behind being honest at that time. And second, all the infrastructure, I'm thinking about factories for like engines or fuel cells, for example, batteries, all the products included in, and all the maintenance aspects, because it's, let's say, the easiest part is about innovate and then making, you know, the new like fuel cell, for example, which is the type of engine being simple. But how can we have maintenance? You know, like if the boat is going to Bahamas, who is going to maintain this like new high technology, which is something which is a must to consider in the decision when we speak about millions straight away about budget on a boat. Usually we can go like by 5 times more expensive depending on the boat's project, going for like newer technology. And I say newer, not greener, as it's the same. In our job, basically, we focus first on the type of energy that will be used. So we have a range of energies. When you hear new words of energies, such as hydrogen, for example, doesn't mean clean. Hydrogen is a type of energy. Then you can have the dirty one, the medium one, and the clean one. And that's where we are entering, basically helping the client to understand, okay, this is a new word, this is a trendy word, but is it something better for the environment or not that much? And how can we do it? And of course, then the biggest question is about how can we match the financial side with this decarbonization. Giving you a brief example, the biofuels, for example, we can have 100% biofuel tank, which will be more costly, but as well we can say, okay, to, let's say, temporate this extra cost, we will go only for 50% bio and 50% conventional. At least you're going to reduce by 50 the emission, the GHG carbon emission of the boat. So that's kind of things where we advise the client to say, is it better to go only for like full greener, 100% greener for nothing, or sometimes is it right to go for maybe only 50% right now, but at least moving 50%, and in the next couple of years going further. So that's basically, again, being simple and not burning your brain right now with all the technical names. That's where we help to, make it clearer, simple to understand, and egg and chicken. It's mandatory, but I know some people in the room, and it's exactly the concern of moving step by step, having technology that can be usable right now and not going for crazy stuff straight away when it comes pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to start small and then evolve over time, especially when it comes to technology. So, yes, well, thank you so much. I think our panelists all deserve a great round of applause. Thank you for your comprehensive replies. So, from classrooms to clean energy to digital transformation, your story really showed how Monaco's future is being shaped by collaboration and partnerships, and of course with the support of the government at all levels. So let's continue empowering young minds to turn these ideas into great impact, not just in Monaco, but around the world. So thank you again. And now it's time to transition to our next panel, where you'll learn all about the startup community in Monaco. Very exciting panel, which was set up by MonacoTech. And to moderate this session, I'm going to take a little bit of a break now. So I'd like to call to the stage the Deputy CEO of the Monaco Economic Board, Mr. Jeune Hyman. Justin, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Kevin, and indeed you deserve a short break, but I believe you'll be back to give some final words at the end. So yes, I'm very happy to moderate the next roundtable, building a startup community in Monaco and the ecosystem in action. And who better to begin with than the director of MonacoTech, Mrs. Sandrine Sauval. Good afternoon, please take a seat. So let's just kick off with a short overview perhaps of MonacoTech and its establishment since the end of 2017, as it's been a key launch pad, I believe, for the startups since then. So if you can give us a brief glimpse of what's happened.
So yes, sure. So MonacoTech is the startup program of the Principality of Monaco. It was started 8 years ago at the initiative of the Monegasque government and in partnership with Monaco Telecom and Jeune. And our mission is to support innovative tech companies and to help them get their starts and anchor their growth in Monaco. And so we select projects that come from all over the world. We also focus on projects that innovate for good, that really bring relevant and impactful solutions to important challenges of our society, whether around sustainability, health, mobility, green tech, and so on. So, and to support those projects, we provide an 18-month program, which is a blend of workshops, one-on-one coaching, access to experts, networking opportunities, fundraising support, and also we have pretty great premises with like a biology lab, for example. So that's also a key asset for young biotech startups to begin.
Indeed, so the infrastructure is also there. So you talked about MonacoTech's mission, but how do you support concretely the different startups and the different segments of activities that they represent?
Yeah, well, it's the program. It's really it's 18 months. It's really day-to-day mentoring. It's really designed to be customized to the needs of each startup. And this is true that, well, there is a common basis, but then it's really on a one-on-one basis that we decide, do we want this to introduce this startup to, what kind of help it should need.
Very tailored.
Yeah, absolutely.
Indeed. So Sandrine, we'll soon hear from two real-world collaborations, but for you, from your point of view, can you share how these kinds of partnerships begin with? Is it here? How does it work?
Yeah. So maybe a bit about the innovation landscape in Monaco. I would say Monaco may be small, but it offers an incredible, very unique and incredible place for startups to, in the early stages, to start, to launch, to test their solutions and get fast and high quality feedback on their solutions. And obviously, the reasons for this is first that, Monaco is in itself, it's a globally recognized brand that is resonating with security, stability, sustainability sectors like luxury, yachting, blue economy. We've mentioned it a couple of times. And so for startups that are building projects in those areas, being in Monaco is not just symbolic, it's like it can be a real strategic advantage. And then I would say what really makes Monaco special is that there is a very rare combination of proximity and international reach. So within 2 kilometers square, startups have access to over 150 nationalities with a very dense concentration of entrepreneurs, decision makers, high-profile investors that all have great networks. And also beyond this, there is the local economic fabric. We've had an insight already that is also incredibly rich. We have international companies, we have very dynamic SMEs, and key institutions in domains like energy, health, mobility, digital, biology, marine biology, and so on. So I guess, and our role as an incubator is really to help those startups navigate this ecosystem. We pick the right connections for them and we try to activate them. But then once it's activated, things can go very, very fast.
A very unique ecosystem over 2 square kilometers that they can flourish and thrive. Kevin mentioned several times.
But maybe just two words just to finish on the 2 real world examples that you will see in a minute. So I would say, for example, with the hospital, Princess Grace, I think collaboration came very smoothly. This is really typically the kind of proximity that you find here in the Monaco ecosystem. We really have the chance to evolve in a very intimate ecosystem. And so with the hospital Princess Grace, just took a couple of meetings with the director, but that's also the assemblage to just exchange on our interests, our needs. We directly felt the willingness, the interest in innovation and willing to support us and the startups that we support. So greatly appreciated. And for Monaco Telecom, they have been there since the start, helping design and launch the program in 2017, and since then supporting us all the way. So I will let the panelists explain how this specific collaboration started. But
well, thank you very much, Sandrine, for those exchanges. They were very enriching. And yes, let's get into the concrete collaborations then. Thank you. First of all, call on stage Mrs. Benoît Troutot-Sevelinch, Director of the Centre Hospitalier Princess Grace, and Charles Jeune, founder of the startup Skill. So as you understood from Sandrine's introduction, this is all about innovation, testing, launching, and the hospital being used as a living lab. And our first panel will therefore show us innovation in action a hospital and a startup working together to tackle elderly nutrition. So my first question will be for Benoit. What's CHPAG's approach to the innovation? How do you support emerging technologies in a hospital?
Well, first of all, I shall say that innovation is really part of our DNA. The Princess Grace Hospital was founded in 1902 by Prince Albert I, who was a prince, but first of all, who was a scientist. And we need to honor his heritage. Since 2010, the government gave us a 10 billion euro subvention each year to invest in innovation. And that is what we do. We are a small hospital, but we are big enough to test new concepts, new theories, and we are large enough to prove our concepts. We innovate with technical equipment, with medical procedures. We also innovate in our management organization. So it's really something that is in the heart of our strategies.
And you're the right size to implement all these different strategies.
And really the right size, because when you have large hospitals, of course, you can do many things, more things, but you don't have all the people around the table. I can have a doctor, a director, an engineer in 2 hours around the table to study something. In a large hospital, you need at least 2 weeks.
Thank you very much. Now to a quick question to Charles. Could you give us an introduction to Skill and what you do?
Sure. First, thank you very much for having me here. Thanks you, Justin, and Kevin as well. Well, Skill is a digital solution that is designed to help hospitals, healthcare facilities to accurately assess what is actually consumed by the patients and the residents from their meals. The challenge that facing the hospitals and the senior residences is to prevent undernutrition, which affects over 30% of the elderly, and to manage 40% of food waste due to most of the time unusual or unadapted portions or food selection. So with the eye of the arts of our solution, Skill helps dining room staff and caregivers to quickly take pictures of dishes to be served and cleared in order to provide the dietitians, doctors, and the kitchen with clear data on nutrition and food performance. It's also called the intake monitoring, and that's what Skills offers is, yeah, you can have some picture here. And what Skill offers is the first and only digital food analytics platform for healthcare.
Indeed, well, it's a very innovative way of doing things. Charles, how did this collaboration come about with CHPG? What problem were you trying to solve?
Well, I first got in touch with Jeune, which is the director of the material resources. But in the same time, and that is very important to highlight, but in the same time, MonacoTech was getting in touch with the Civil and trying to help us to finally get involved with the CHPG into our pilot project. And we have the chance now to have involved the relevant users, the decision makers inside the establishment to run this pilot project for testing and finalizing the development of our solution. And this is a huge advantage given to startups like Scale by the CHPG and MonacoTech. So now what's next will be to analyzing the results, the data from this pilot, and we hope we'll be demonstrating that skill data can really help the CHPG to to tackle malnutrition and anticipate diagnosis of undernutrition, but also to improve performances and patient satisfaction about meals. And this will undoubtedly demonstrate that data management really can be a game changer when it comes to catering in the healthcare industry.
Thank you very much. Benoit, what made the CHPG open its door to, I think it's the first venture, to a young startup?
We opened the door since MonacoTech was born. The issue was to find a startup who was really interested in testing these concepts in the hospital. We are involved in avoiding waste, whatever waste. But on the nutrition subject, we are one of the few hospitals who still have a kitchen. We are one of the few hospitals where patients can choose their meal. So we've already worked a lot on it. This is another case of all hospitals. This is why Skill has a very good idea and good concepts. On the other side, what we thought was that if we don't have really an issue with waste, we do have an interest in the data that will be produced. For instance, if we have a patient who eats well, and then we found that he does not eat enough proteins, or there's a drug that lowers his appetite, maybe Skill can be useful to detect this easy. So this is another application of Skill, and we can be interested in it. But the point of interest is really to get startup, test the concepts in the hospital. Our teams are really grateful with this because it's very interesting. We want to work for Monaco and not only for patients. We want to be part of the economy here. And this is why our doors are largely open.
Very good. Charles, so you recently ran this pilot scheme inside the CHPG. What have you learned from this real-world setting and testing?
Well, a lot. And according to what Benoit just been said, that's very, we're very welcome in the CHPG, and that's really helpful what we can do every day here. And it's priceless to have the opportunity to test and validate your features in the light of real problems and processes alongside the users. But to make a long story short, we are still running the pilot right now, but we have like about 3 weeks of testing. And with what the pilot has brought us as today, we've been able to adapt Skill by deploying some 30 corrective versions within only 2 weeks. So that's a huge input for a startup like this. And we've been able to improve and adapt our user handling to reduce the impact of Skill on their workflow, but also to integrate something that is special to some hospitals, and especially CHPG. That's the choice among a long list of food options. Yeah, and also the fact that in this geriatric unit, the people can choose from a day to another to eat served by plates in a dining room and to share their lunch with other people. Also to eat on a tray in their room, and we have to adapt this. That is very nice for the patient, but it's pretty difficult to integrate in our process. And that was to us a huge improvement in our technology and a very big leap in our offering. So now we'll be able to gather the professional feedback, and that will be very interesting for us to validate that what we're doing is really solving.
What next? How long has this pilot scheme been going on for? Overall, how long has this pilot scheme been going on for?
Oh, it will be for 4 weeks, but with some days off in June. We are prolonging for 1 week more, so it will be ended by the July 4th. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, and well done on this. Perhaps a final question to Benoit, sorry, which is a bit more broader. What is your stance on AI in healthcare, especially around the ethics and data privacy?
Well, it's a priority to us. Yesterday we launched a conference with one big expert in France. I believe that if we want to have ethics and if we want to save our data, to secure our data, we need to embrace AI. We really need to be leaders on this if we want to do it good and well. So our ethics committee has already launched 2 meetings about the subjects. We do experience AI in medical protocols, in like administrative protocols, management. We do use it to analyze our data also. And the only, I should say, question is, what is going to be the legislation in Monaco about AI? So from now, we do look what we do follow European Act, but it's really an issue at the national plan, because we protect our data, and I'm sure that it's a good thing, but maybe too much protection is a failure. Maybe in the future. Maybe a failure.
All about finding the right dosage. Thank you, both of you. A real fascinating example of innovation meeting real world needs. Thank you. So on to the second panel of a large company, which is titled "A Large Company as First Customer." May I call to the stage Corinne Pirinoli, Director of Human Resources, Client Relation and Communication at Monaco Telecom, and Louis Leroux, founder of Altores. We're going to look now at a different kind of collaboration when a large company becomes a startup's very first customer. So first question for Corinne. Could you tell us more about Monaco Telecom support? Has supported Monaco Tech from day one, but how has your role evolved through the years?
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for the invitation. As Sandrine said very nicely, yes, we were, first of all, I have to explain that Monaco Telecom has 2 shareholders. The first one is the government of Monaco, and the second, that is the major one, the majority, is Xavier Niel, who is a very important entrepreneur in France and now in Europe and even in the world, because he has expanded his, all his investment throughout the world. He bought Monaco Telecom 10 years ago, and 2 years after the change with the government, they have decided that they want to innovate and to at least support innovation in Monaco. And they asked Monaco Telecom and myself to develop, to think, to create, to design with the government MonacoTech. So we launched, and all the collaborators, the employees of MonacoTech are collaborators of Monaco Telecom. So when we started the adventure, we designed the building, we recruited the director and all the teams, and the first year really we were very, very involved in the creation of the program, the first journey, and so on. Now, 8 years after, really, I mean, it is launched, it is recognized, it works well. We are here to support when Sandrine asks us if we need something.
Indeed, yes, it's evolving now and spread its own wings. Now to Louis, perhaps give us a brief introduction to Altores, what you do and where you are now. where you're at.
Sure. At Altress, we deploy virtual collaborators or AI assistants that improve customers and employee experiences in organization by basically automating repetitive requests and interaction. Our solution doesn't just chat with users, it actually can take real action in the backend, such as updating records, routing requests, or triggering specific workflows. And on the development side, today we are focused on our go-to-market strategy with structured sales, building new trusted references, and really scaling what works.
Thank you. Very clear indeed. Corinne, then what led Monaco Telecom to work with Altress? Was there any hesitation in backing such a young startup?
Well, in fact, in our role in Monaco Telecom for MonacoTech is also to try when we can to support some startup in their development. And first of all, as someone said before in another panel, is help them to have the first customers. So we made it because we launched the 5G, and Monaco Telecom was the first operator in the world to cover completely the country 5G. And at that time, we worked with the startup from MonacoTech to really, in fact, develop the use case. It's very important for us to play this role and to try to develop use case with and throughout the innovation we want them to develop in Monaco Telecom within the company. We made it also with Pineapple, another startup. We were the first customer for them in terms of digitalization of the payslip, and I may think that helped them a lot, them to develop their business in Monaco. And what we do is I when I can, or Martin Perronnet, our CEO, we participate to the demo day. Because MonacoTech organize demo day every time we have a new jury and a new startup. And at that time, it was 1 year ago, I think, during a demo day, Altress introduced themselves. And of course, as the director of the customer care in Monaco Telecom, as Benoit said before, the artificial intelligence is one of my one of my dreams, sometimes my nightmare, and but at least it's one of the purposes. So we cannot do anything today professionally without thinking of it. And so when we and Tom introduced the business, I proposed them to work on the use case for the customer care.
Perfect. Very clear indeed. And you, Louis, why did you choose to work with Monaco Telecom?
For us, we decided to work with Monaco Telecom because it was the ideal mix of ambition and challenge. We knew that if we succeeded with them, we could prove first our solution real value and also build very strong first references for future growth.
Could you tell us exactly what the key moments were in these collaborations and also perhaps some challenges you faced?
Of course. One key moment was actually bringing this new AI expertise in a very structured company like Monaco Telecom. We had to work very closely with different team member departments from customer care, IT to legal to make sure the solution really fit their needs, including a high standard for security and compliance. And one major challenge was actually on the AI model itself. We needed to show them why improving its capability was necessary to meet their high level of quality in customer care, even though this meant actually upgrading our initial offer. But at the same time, we still needed to show them that with the leader model that we started with, we could still deliver real value and real impact. So that was definitely a bit challenging.
Yes, please go ahead.
What I want to say is that first of all, for us, having young people, and when I say young, it's not age, but I mean young in the way they look at the business. They introduce new tech in a company that, even though the innovation is very important for us as retail, is structured. So they brought us a different way to see and to really examine the situation. For me, the main challenge for them was the legal part. Because for a startup, I mean, you know, you have the idea, you have the business in mind. We launched the pilot, it worked, we were quite happy, but then the question of the data protection, very, very important. And also, okay, we are in a legal process. We are a company within the group, so we have also to secure different things. So I think that for you it was a big.
How did you overcome this extra paperwork?
We had a lot of talking and like negotiating, because what was really a big advantage with working with Monaco Telecom is that we were able to pre-discuss with all their team members. So we negotiated, we talked with our legal advisor, and it meant a lot also because Monaco Telecom is a big structure, and it made us learn a lot about how the process in such organization works. So, but at the end, it was a lot of discussion.
Could I ask how the assistant is performing today? I mean, what are the early takeaways?
Well, we started, we launched it 2 months ago, but officially 2 weeks ago, and we had very, very good feedback. And I would say 2 things. First of all, we have good feedback because also Interest gave us good advice, very concretely, because we are small, we are smart, we are innovative, but we are also very cost control. So first of all, we said, okay, I think that with the basic offer, it could work. And then they took really the initiative to develop the performance model on your time. And they showcased that it's much, much better. So it cost a little bit more. But really, it has a real impact. And so thank you for that. It was a good advice, and it was a good way to show how we can evolve also in our opinion and in our decision. So I think for me, that's a good collaboration between a big company, a structural company, and the startup. Is to have also to be also open-minded.
Open-minded, more engaging.
Yeah. And the second thing that it works so well that I can announce that we put Interest on 2 other use cases for Monaco Telecom, but also for the group, for the NJJ, the holding of Principality. So we are currently working on 2 new use cases, and with a showcase, I think in 2 weeks.
A unicorn in the making. May I ask also what this collaboration brought to you in terms of product growth, visibility, credibility? I can see things are going well with. Could you tell us also your view on this?
It definitely brought us a lot. From a business point of view, it really helped us take our solution to the next level and make it enterprise grade in terms of both performance and security. It also gave us a lot of credibility. We signed a renowned private member club in Monaco. We attracted new clients even beyond the Principality, and even open talks with public institutions. But I want to add also on more personal notes for me and my co-founder, Thomas, as 2 young entrepreneurs born and raised in Monaco, being trusted by Monaco Telecom, which we know they are the innovator, like with 5G and all that. In such an innovative space as AI has been something we are genuinely proud of. So thanks a lot.
Well done to both of you. Maybe Corinne, one last question again on a broader role. How do you see Monaco Telecom's role in supporting local innovation?
It's first of all, it's the the idea of our founders, our shareholders, with NGT and Xavier. So very important. And also at least the artificial intelligence. Now it's not we don't have to it's not an option. I mean, no hesitation. We need to go. We need to be very careful, above all on the protection of the data, for sure. But if we want to progress, we cannot go without this innovation. And in our role in MonacoTech, I mean, it's just normal. No doubt, it's natural. Natural.
So you'll keep helping young startups.
Every time I come to a demo day, I come with something in the art and pass. We can help a new startup.
Well, thank you both. This again is a powerful example of how big players and startups can co-create value and innovate together.
If I can add something, okay, we can help the startup, but the most important thing is the quality of the startup and the fact also that the business, the product, the solution they offer has a real market. So the most important thing is the business, and I know that MonacoTech with the program is very focused on this part of the question.
I was going to say,
you have the business for the solution or the innovation.
Thank you, both of you. Thank you. So I believe now I'm going to leave the floor again to Kevin, who's going to give us some concluding remarks to end this wonderful afternoon.
Thank you so much, and thank you, Justin, for your great moderation, and thank you to the speakers as well. The panel was extremely powerful because I learned so much, and it showed the importance of having a really great first customer. And we're lucky in Monaco to have big companies who trust startups like CHPG, like Monaco Telecom, and I hope it gives more inspiration to those watching outside on the other side of the world to do something similar. Of course, Monaco is a small microcosm, but that doesn't explain everything. It's also the desire to support innovation, which is really key. So thank you again to all the speakers involved. And this panel concluded our session, and while the time really flew by, thanks to the quality of all the speakers present here today. I really hope that for all the audience viewing from abroad and discovering Monaco's economy for the first time, this gave proper insights into the realities how the Principality is run, but also how it's optimized, as well as discovering the creativity of our young entrepreneurs and startups and the investment potential that the Principality has. I'd once again like to thank our partners, and I know how busy everybody is right now with lots of events, travel to and from Monaco, the jury next week, and thanks to our partners, their hard work made this event possible. So starting with our host MonacoTech, led by its director, Sandrine Sauval, who are accommodating us on this famous runway. We provided all the tech support that this hybrid event needed, as well as showcasing the talent of their startups on the second panel. Big thanks to Lucille, Daniela, and Maeva, as well, and the whole team for your working in the background. We had lots of meetings beforehand to prepare here in this room, looking at the team setup, etc., and I'm glad to see everything paying off. So thank you again. Big thanks to the Monaco Economic Board, who supported us with inspiring speakers, as well as their general know-how and network. And of course, big thanks to JCEM Monaco and President Hannah, who supported our communication and providing more exceptional speakers, especially those from our first panel. This is really a great example of how like-minded organizations can work together positively for a common goal, which is to keep promoting the economic attractiveness of Monaco this country that we all know and love. It has been my utmost honour to chair and moderate this session, and I hope to see you soon with more new projects in the pipeline with the World Business Angels Investment Forum in Monaco, which will help promote financial inclusion and entrepreneurial ecosystems. After these 2 hours, I really feel inspired and motivated about Monaco's economy and its potential. I know that with the engagement of all the partners involved, the best is truly yet to come. Thank you again.
Examples.